then. If you said because Jesus had a mother, okay, which is Mary, but no father, therefore God is the Father, then let's go back to Eve and say, well, gosh, she didn't have a mother, so therefore God's her mother.
No.
And even then, it's still no reason to worship Jesus, even if it was, which he wasn't, but still, you didn't worship Eve, did you? So why are you worshiping Jesus? And by the way, while we're on the subject of fathers and mothers, who was the father of Adam? And who was the mother of Adam? In fact, he didn't have either. He was created from dirt. I think a woman coming from a man's bone is pretty wild. That's a miracle, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think a woman coming from a man is pretty wild. And then what about a man being born of a woman coming out of her womb, but no man has fertilized the egg? That's not as big a miracle. It's a miracle, but not as big, because there are animals today that are asexual. There are bees, female bees, that can give birth to a male bee, and there was no intercourse. So, but how about this, and let's go to the big one. Adam had no father, no mother, came out of dirt. If you want to worship somebody based on their creation, Adam is in line. He is the guy to go to.
Yeah.
If you want to use that as a rational argument. And of course, we don't worship Adam either. We worship the God that created Adam from dirt. We worship the God that created Eve from the bone. We worship the God of Jesus, and Jesus was created of a woman who had never been touched by a man. And in any case you look at it, and the miracles that any of the prophets did were still from God. According to the prophets themselves, I don't do anything of myself. I do it by the one who sent me, the one above, the one in authority, the one who's the creator, the one who allows these things to be done. They attribute it to Jesus, but in fact, even the miracles that he did about the leprosy, at the time of Moses, it says in the Bible, he put his hand into his coat and he pulled it out. His hand was leprous as snow. He put it back in, pulled it out again, and it was clean. In the Quran, it says that he put it in, it came out shiny. It didn't say it was leprosy, but beside the point. If you want to say something here, what happened to his hand? And we want to talk about coming back to life. What about the dry bones? The dry bones of Ezekiel that they used to bring dead people back to life. That was long before Jesus. So bringing somebody back to life also doesn't mean Jesus is God or a son of a God. It means he did miracles to show people he was who he said he was. He was the Messiah. He was the one who was sent, and the Jews, for the most part, ignored it, disowned him, and really wanted to do him in. They didn't want to accept it.
And now we as Muslims, we accept that he was one of the mightiest messengers of God.
Absolutely.
So please give us, the audience, some advice. Those who now are just filling in the blanks. They're going along with something that their grandfathers, their fathers taught them, something that actually you believe, being a former Christian preacher, minister. Give some advice to those who are still stuck on this concept.
One of the things I would do is just quote to you from sources and let you think for yourself. I want to go to the Quran. It says in Quran chapter 39, verse 53. It says, "Say, O my servants who have transgressed against their souls, do not despair of the mercy of Allah. For Allah forgives all sins, for he is oft forgiving, most merciful. If anyone," we're going to chapter 4, verse 110, "if anyone does evil or wrongs his own soul, but afterwards seeks Allah's forgiveness, then he will find Allah forgiving, most merciful." Chapter 2, Surah Baqarah, verse 21, it says, "O you people, adore your guardian Lord who created you and those who came before you, that you may become righteous." This is showing you who is Allah. Because this isn't Jesus. This is God. This is the one that Jesus also needs this relationship with him. We're talking about relationship. And in Mark, here we have Jesus. I'll go to the Bible. It says, "Why do you call me good? There's none good but God alone." God is good. He's saying, no, don't call me that. And in 5:17, "Don't think that I came to abolish the law and the prophets. I came not to destroy, but rather to fulfill the prophecies. And not until all things are accomplished shall a single jot, iota of the law be in any wise lessened. Whoever breaks the least commandment and teaches this, he will be the least in the kingdom. But whoever keeps commandments and teaches that, he'll be the highest in the kingdom." So we see clearly that Jesus is talking about keeping the law, following God, and the relationship, and this is the cap. You want the cap to the whole thing that we're talking about?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Question. Who did Jesus pray to and why? Why did Jesus pray? And to whom did he pray?
It's a good question. Let them ponder and think now.
We got a website for that. We got a good website. It's called BibleIslam.com. BibleIslam.com. And if you've been to some of our other websites, you already know about IslamCode.com. You know also about the other one we mentioned in the program when we were talking about 911 Bible. But any of them you go to, you're going to find similar stories there that will help you.
Thank you again for being with us. And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to The Dean Show. Every week on The Dean Show, we try to bring you a new episode. And just to recap, God doesn't have a son. God cannot be a man. God is distinct from his creation. And if you can dig worshiping the Creator and not his creation, then you can dig Islam. And that's the main message. To worship the Creator and not his creation, and to obey his commands. And at the end, you got paradise. So, we'll see you again every week. Stay tuned, a new show, and you can also visit us on thedeanshow.com. And if you have any questions regarding the Bible, 911bible.com. And we'll see you again on The Dean Show. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you.